Sup? This is Greggatron. This. 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 Look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Look at it. This. Yeah. 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 This is Do you like my shirt? Yeah. Christ. Privilege. No man can close doors God has opened for me. Alright. I got this shirt from Officer Tatum's store, by the way. The Officer Tatum Store.com. Now, this video is about Robocop. Robocop. It's a movie review. So get your popcorn out. Don't worry. I won't spoil anything. Buckle in. Put your feet up. We need to talk about this. All right. First of all, let me give a shout out to my homie, the real Mr. Mad. It's the real Mr. Mad. He inspired me to finally watch this movie. I heard about Robocop all my life growing up. I always heard Robocop. I just never watched it. I was born in the 90s. This movie came out in the 80s. So by the time I was like 7 or 8, maybe even 6, I was watching Gremlins. You know what I'm saying? And I think Gremlins came out in the late 80s. But Gremlins was more up my alley. I remember being afraid of the Gremlins. I was scared of them, but I loved them. At the same time, I loved watching them, but I was scared at the same time. Whereas we just never had Robocop in my household. We just never had it. We had Men in Black. We had different movies, but Robocop was just never one of them. So it's not like I was openly avoiding Robocop. We just didn't grow up with it. So Mr. Mad, he was talking about it. I was like, man, you know what? Let me see if I can find this. So I found it. It's streaming on one of those free TV apps. With commercials, of course. So I watched it. And I will say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I had to tell a story about how I watched it, right? All right, let's start with this. What I like a lot about this movie is the time period feels like it's modern day time. And this is very believable. It's very reasonable. The universe they painted in Robocop reminds me of Batman the Animated Series. But I liked it because not only is it quote-unquote modern time, but it's just very believable. It just felt authentic. They didn't need to go in and make it all futuristic and dystopian this and that. And no, it's like it takes place in the 80s. It feels like 80s stuff, but this is possible that this can happen. And I love that stuff. So shout out to the universe they painted. Let's talk about the main character a little bit. The character, he was actually really likable. Everything from before he became Robocop to during his time as Robocop. What I liked about him, he was the main character, and there were some other characters who were good. But what I liked about his name is Murphy, you really kind of felt for Murphy. Like, you really, really, really just genuinely love this man. When he's a cop, this isn't going to be a spoiler because this is probably in the bio. It's about this man who's a cop, and let's just say he gets injured. Let's put it that way, to where he can't be a cop anymore. This organization uses his body for this program that they're working on. Basically, it's a tech program, and they use him to create Robocop. And he has, quote unquote, no memory of ever being a cop. He's a cyborg, essentially, and he works for the police department. And it's so cool watching him go out and solve crime. Like, those moments when he first went out, when he first got the car and started crime fighting, it was like he was a superhero. That stuff was cool. And I like the way he talks, his robo personality, I guess you could call it. And I really like how the people around him responded to how he, I guess, whenever he was on the scene, whenever anybody was around him, a good guy or a bad guy, whether it be a thug, a criminal, or a victim, someone who he was saving, I just like the people's response to his presence. The media was all over it. The media was trying to ask him questions. There was a scene where there was a hostage situation, and he deals with that. There was a situation where this woman was about to be attacked, and he dealt with that. Like, I really like how he was like a superhero. That was cool. And I'm laughing because this movie's crazy because it's not really a comedy, but it is. But they directed that stuff perfect. Like, it's action, it's adventure, it's science fiction. It's about law and order and criminality and justice. But, like, there's moments that are, like, cheesy and corny and funny. But, like, corny in a good way. You know. And the acting was pretty good overall. The lady who he worked with back when he was a cop. The police chief. He was cool. The bad guys were nice. I mean, the cast was really good. And it's not just about Robocop. It's about this company that is trying to push these mechanical monsters to essentially be the top police robot. But it even goes deeper than that, to be honest. It actually goes pretty deep, which I really liked. There's a scene where the police force kind of turns on him because they think he's a threat. Like, that was a really good scene when he's kind of on the run. That reminded me of Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Remember that scene on Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, when Batman is accused of doing something, but I think it was really the Phantasm, and he, like, framed him or something like that. Anyway, Batman's on the run. and there's like helicopters chasing them and stuff. It reminded me of that moment. But I really felt for RoboCop. That was probably the best scene in the whole movie. Like, I really felt for this dude. And I like how he's almost invincible. Almost, right? You can't be all the way invincible. But it had some really good moments, some really good scenes. Some moments where it kind of just hits you like, dang, man. Come on, RoboCop. Like you're siding with him the whole time. And it's great because as a robot or a cyborg, he's got quote unquote no personality, right? But the way they directed that stuff so nice. Everything from the music to, I'll just use the word, the way they directed it. You really feel for this dude. Like, this guy went through hell. You know. So it's really good. The bad guy, he was good. I like it because it's about gangster stuff. Like the gangsters, they're just the worst. But I don't know if I would. What would I give it? Let's see. I'm just gonna say it was really enjoyable. And if I find it on DVD, I'll definitely get the DVD. Because who wants to watch RoboCop with commercials? You know. But shout out to Mr. Mad. I'll probably watch RoboCop Part 2 this weekend. I didn't want to watch it yet because I wanted to let this movie settle in. I needed to digest it. That way I could do a pure review without the movies overlapping one another. But you know the second one is hard to top the first. Especially if the first is like a classic. And I kind of always knew this movie was a classic. I just hadn't seen it yet. There's a lot of movies out there that are like that. Like, I know what they are, I just haven't seen them yet. So, great movie. Good characters, good plot. Good main character. A character who you really rock with. Good supporting cast. Really good townspeople. I like how they focused on the criminal element also. It takes place in Detroit. And I like how the police really stressed how important it is to fight crime. The police chief, he was real noble. I guess the police were attacked by a gang or somebody like early on in the movie. Well, the cops were talking about striking back. That's the word they used, strike. Well, the police chief, he heard that. He's like, no one's striking anything. Police don't strike. I really like the characters. We'll put it that way. And as far as a budget goes, you don't need a high budget movie. As long as you have a good director and some good quality actors, good believable characters, that's all that matters. But let me talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And peace.